6. Think that I am not watching them. Trust me, I am.
Zajcu37 Archive is an archive channel. Zajcu37 Archive is a channel that re-uploads deleted videos by Zajcu37, even though most of these videos are still up on Zajcu37's channel. Now, if you don't know, Zajcu37 is a classic Five Nights at Freddy's animation YouTube channel that's known for their famous source filmmaker animations from the earlier years of Five Nights at Freddy's popularity. As of the day I'm writing this, they have changed their profile picture from Zajcu37's OG profile picture to Hatsune Miku, and they've removed their banner and revealed their subscriber list, which is composed only of people named Zajcu37, including obviously the actual Zajcu37. Zajcu37 Archive only started uploading 3 months ago, and they've made 17 videos. Now, like I said earlier, they have uploaded videos from Zajcu37 that are still up on the actual channel. So clearly, this isn't just an archive channel. You can very likely tell something is off because of the typo in the name. If you caught this channel a month or so ago, it's very distasteful banner. And I wouldn't be making this video if the channel wasn't somewhat interesting, so today, yes, we are going to dive deeper into this channel together to see what it's all about. Now, a small portion of videos are filler, with this portion being just Zajcu37 videos re-uploaded in 144p, so we're only going to stick to the videos with any interesting details in them. This first video is quite a strong introduction to the channel, being an actually deleted video from Zajcu37 called It's My Birthday. This video starts with an amazing, marvelous intro followed up by Zajcu's mascot, a blue Bonnie with glasses and ammo pockets, saying he's now 19 years old and his birthday was the 19th of May, 1997. Before I continue any further, I would like to say that every video from this point on will be in 360p or lower. I'm pretty sure 1080p existed back in 2016, but I don't know, I was still a new gen back then. Zajcu said he's made an animation for the occasion, so the rest of the video will be this animation. This animation begins with a red Freddy staring aimlessly into nothing. His eyes are very bloodshot and his pupils are warped, like he's been crying. This Freddy stares into nothing, slowly looking closer into our direction until the animation starts. This animation is sick, by the way. At around the halfway mark of the video, this red Freddy comes back and he's looking at something closer to us until he just looks right at us and holds that glance for a very uncomfortable, very long time. Nothing else happens. There's no jump scare, no sound even. It's just really uncomfortable eye contact for a solid minute. But after that minute, it cuts back to the animation for the rest of the video and then the outro. This outro has a link to Zajcu37's Facebook and Steam, which both lead to the actual Facebook and Steam of Zajcu, and not any ARG things set up by the archive channel. This video introduces what many in this community call Blood Bear, but will be revealed to be called just Red Freddy later. Perfect chance to call him Red Bear or Reddy. This is also one of the very few times we'll see this kind of Freddy not making any noise, as he's quite the rowdy bugger in every other appearance. Okay. Bomb Surprise is an odd video, and it's the second video from this archive channel. Bomb Surprise is also an actually archived video, as this video is nowhere to be seen on Zajcu37's official channel. A lot of these videos don't have captions either, which was how Zajcu37 made dialogue in his older videos, so these videos are really confusing. But the story of this video goes like this. The pizzeria is pretty boring today, with Bonnie and Chica talking about whatever, and Foxy and Freddy are left to their own devices. But Foxy, being seen usually as the mischievous troublemaker of this group, decides to give Freddy an evil gift. Freddy is flabbergasted by this gift and has to open it. Unfortunately, it's a bomb. And, Freddy's exploded and became a red stain on the wall and an unrecognizable red mess on the floor. His eyes are rolled back and his mouth is wide open. His head and his torso are the only partially recognizable pieces of Freddy on the wall. The rest of him has become a red and white mess. The wall and the table are covered in gore, completely off color for the tone of this video, which I can only assume was meant to be a kid-friendly comedy video, like the rest of Zajcu's channel. I have genuinely zero idea how the actual video looked like instead, but I doubt it's anything like this one. It cuts so suddenly to this one frame of Freddy, and it sits on it for the last 20 seconds of the video, until it cuts to Bonnie and Chica's very reasonable reaction, which was to shrug off what happened to Freddy. Obviously, this probably wouldn't be their actual reaction to the occurrence. This frame seems really stuffed in the video, replacing what actually happens to Freddy but not affecting the rest of the video or the story. I couldn't gather a story if I wanted to, especially because this video is the deleted first part of a 3-part trilogy on the Zajcu official channel. But from what I can try to pick up is that new Night Guard 1 is about the Scout Night Guard quitting because Golden Freddy almost got his ass. And he's replaced with Soldier, who pulls out a shotgun when he sits down. But they kind of mind their own business for the rest of the video until a repaired Mangle plans to scare the Night Guard for Foxy. But when she goes to get the Night Guard, we see Red Freddy again, but he starts screaming like he's in agony and the music box starts speeding up. His mouth is wide open and he's standing in the corner where the guard should be, with a very obvious stitch in the photo he's in, like he's replaced the guard in this one frame. His shadow is also being cast on the wall, so it's not like he's been just thrown onto the video. He's genuinely in the video. But the video ends with Mangle just listening to Freddy screaming in agony because we see her for a moment just letting it happen. This video caught me so off guard. Zajcu37 Archive is like really good at waiting for seemingly a really long time before putting some scary shit in a video, making the delivery really good because you can never expect what is gonna happen. Some scary shit could happen at literally any time, so this 144p FNAF animation just keeps you on the edge this entire time. Season 1 Thief FNAF is about this fat fuck. Season 1 Thief FNAF is about this, what do we say, big boned person named Toy Freddy stealing Chica's pizza. She blames it on Toy Bonnie, the little skinny bitch he is. I need to calm down. She blames it on Toy Bonnie, who says that he's done no wrongdoings. He's just a no-nonsense do-gooder. So Chica sits and waits and guards this box until Freddy waves at her like an idiot. Doesn't he see what she's doing? He shouldn't wave. Like, that's gonna throw her off. She waves back and Toy Freddy steals the box again. I can't stand this guy, dude. When she notices, she goes to blow off some steam, reasonably, at the Night Guard, but she walks up to him and she only has 2 black holes where her eyes should be, and they're both very misplaced. And her hand is incredibly warped. She has no mouth, but the space where the mouth should be shifts up and down as Chica talks. Like it's like just skin just covering her face. She says,
"If you are liking the video so far, then like and put a comment on the video, and always remember that God loved you. Smiley face."
Thank you. But she replaces the guard and finds Toy Freddy on the camera system and makes him her I don't feel very proud saying that right now. I need to like repent. She replaces the guard and finds Toy Freddy on the camera system and makes him her little errand boy when she gets caught. She's such a boss-ass B-word, but that's the video. The weird Chica isn't really as scary as the Freddy segments, but now that the scary shit has spread to Chica, she's gonna start doing more freaky shit in the upcoming videos now too. Assistant is about Freddy helping everyone around the pizzeria. But it starts with Chica telling Freddy to follow her, and they go to the bathrooms, and Chica reports to Freddy that there's a huge mess of pizza on the ground, and that they need to clean. Freddy suddenly stops and he becomes red. His eyes are not looking in the same direction, and his mouth is wide open. Freddy's yelling like he's in pain, and Chica's doing the exact same, but she's drenched in evil red ooze. After some screaming on Freddy's part, all of the blood on Chica is gone and her face is replaced by that of a baby. There's no later form of explanation of why there was a baby, but it cuts back to the original video of Freddy helping everyone out and nothing scary happens for the rest of this video. Even though most scary segments last for an uncomfortably long time, this channel doesn't really extend the segments for any longer than how they actually are in each video. They happen and we're supposed to shrug it off and move on. We don't get more in depth with what just happened. This is demonstrated better in videos that do the Bloodbear shit at the very beginning, just like this one. The story starts with Freddy, Bonnie, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica playing a board game, but it's boring, so they all leave, with Toy Chica leaving first and Bonnie going second, because he likes Toy Chica. Woo! So he gets her a plush replica of herself from his little stash behind a shelf in the janitor's closet. Low-key, weird as fuck, but that's okay. So he tries to give this gift to her, but it's awkward, because Chica's sitting with them on third stage. God, I hate third-wheeler. So they go to another room, but Toy Bonnie is there with them, so they go elsewhere. They go to the bathrooms, but Freddy's making a big band in the bathroom. A jump scare of Bloodbear appears and spawns in Bloodbear. He's looming by the doorframe of the bathroom, which we can see inside. It's covered in blood, but Freddy is standing at the doorframe staring to the right, and he's struggling to breathe. I'd also like to point out how the texture on the bathroom sign and the walls are much more pixelated looking compared to the original video, which used a source filmmaker map. This Bloodbear segment doesn't use a source filmmaker map. and it's seemingly made by Zajcu Archive because no source filmmaker map has blood everywhere in the bathroom, and it's much bigger than the original bathrooms. But we'll discuss what and where this scene might be later. So Bonnie and Toy Chica leave and let Freddy go back to doing his own thing. And the video ends with Toy Chica and Bonnie living happily ever after. Yeah. Actually, it cuts off right before Bonnie gives Toy Chica the gift, and it cuts straight to the outro, which I think is really funny. I'm pretty sure the return is another actually archived or deleted video from Zajcu37. The video is about Golden Freddy having beef with the having beef? This video is about Golden Freddy having beef with the puppet, so he brings the original 4 back to life. And he demands all of them to, I guess, go attack the night guard, but the video doesn't have subtitles, so it shows like a shadowy corner demanding all 4 of them for like 20 seconds, with like just like really tense music playing in the background. So they all jump the night guard, but the night guard being jumped would obviously make some noise. So the FNAF 2 characters go to explore the ruckus, and they encounter the Withered characters. And they're all about to fight each other until the puppet leaves his box and pushes all 8 of them to the other sides of the hallway. Except him pushing all of them very violently kills all 8 of them. He looks to the left, his right, and the original 4 are brutalized against the door. Bonnie's lower half is completely red, Freddy's face is smashed in, and Foxy and Chica are just screaming because it's really hard to identify any injuries because the video is in 144p. But the puppet takes a glance to the right, his left, and the toy characters are not any better. Chica has become unrecognizable, and that's only because of 144p. She's become dark green, and bright red glowing liquid is dripping down her bib. Freddy's screaming, and his lower half has become a red puddle along with Toy Bonnie. His head is the only thing I can identify from him, and his face is completely censored. Mangle isn't any better either. Her head is tinted red and her body is dark red, along with the side of the ceiling that she's on. Also, Spring Bonnie's in the corner and he's looking pretty pretty fine and dandy. I don't think he's in this game according to the FNAF timeline, but I guess he felt important today. Spring Bonnie is sitting in the bottom left corner pointing upwards. I'm pretty sure he has like a hat or something, like he's a really unoriginal OC, but the puppet SMHs his head at all 8 of them for dying, I guess, even though I'm pretty sure that was his fault. And the video ends. So clearly Freddy and Chica aren't the only ones that are affected by whatever happens in these videos, with Bloodbear obviously being his own character invading these videos on his own. As we also saw in Bomb Surprise, the cartoon violence in the original Zajcu37 videos have been replaced by ultra-violent scenarios, adding semi-realistic anatomy to these cartoon animals. Foxy starts with this freak. Who is this? Foxy starts with a hot pink Bonnie wearing a top hat, blue wings, and a blue grill saying hi. They kind of stuffed themselves into the video like it's one of Zajcu's friends from school that wanted to be in a video and also happened to have a source filmmaker render of his original character. Freddy's moving boxes into the parts and services room until he spots Foxy trying to scare the night guard on the cameras. When he runs to the office, Freddy continues moving his box until the anomaly interrupts the video, offering to help Freddy with the box that looks heavy. They have glowing red subtitles for what they're saying, but remember, we are still in 144p, so we can't read it. Later in the video, Foxy fails to jump scare the night guard like he's been doing, so Mangle points upwards, implying that she has an idea. And then the freak wonders what they're plotting. After Mangle's plan fails, and they go to report to Freddy about their failure, the freak starts talking again. Freddy, Foxy, and Mangle all plot the night guard's doom by distracting him with the cameras. He looks at Freddy, then Foxy, then Freddy again, and then when he looks back to Foxy's curtains, the freak is standing there. It's the full render of the creature slapped on screen, and it looks really poorly edited on when it sits on the screen for a couple frames too long. A moment after it leaves the screen, a weird floating head of the ghoul flashes on screen as the video lags. Foxy and Mangle finally almost get the night guard, but the power goes out, so Freddy gets to attack the night guard instead. And the freak finally introduces himself as Ryan the Angel Gamer. Took literally the entire video to identify this guy. His last message replaced the super awesome traditional outro. And I already really missed that outro because this fucking guy replaced it. So Ryan the Angel Gamer is quite the odd fella because he suddenly existed and nobody knows who he is. Looking him up on YouTube, however, does lead to something very interesting. There is an account named Ryan the Angel Gamer which has a similar profile picture to Zajcu Archives, and they're a FNAF channel. They don't have any videos, so this could very much be like a fan channel of some sort, Ryan the Angel Gamer fan account. But according to a re-upload, there was a video from Ryan at some point in time, which was removed at some point for some reason. This video is a very poor recording of a kid showing off his super awesome FNAF 4 drawing, until it cuts to Ryan's mascot staring at something directly next to the camera, speaking in reverse. This face distorts very similar to the way Bloodbear and Chica shift an assistant and thief, so this is very likely actually connected to the archive channel. The reverse message says, just listen.
I want Sentinel to shake his yacht and break his head shriek in the goon cave so everyone can see him for the false Sigma he is. I want him to edge and bust.
Riveting shit this is. Another interesting thing is that Ryan has a DeviantArt with 8 photos, all with high quality renders of Ryan, even a higher quality version of the render we see in his debut video. So this account is definitely official, unless someone managed to get their Go Gadget pixel enhancer and put this image in front of it. They started posting January 31st of this year and stopped February 5th. They're following Zajcu37 and a Bonnie x Foxy ship account. I'll have to start using DeviantArt more often if this account's quite enticing, I'm sorry. Lost Cupcake starts with Toy Chica waking up and spotting that Carl, the goat, isn't on her plate, so she goes searching. She asks everyone, but nobody seems to know where Carl is, so she stands on her stage and notices that normal Chica has a cupcake. The moment Chica is fully in frame, she goes completely red. Her beak is replaced by one small mouth, and her eyes are replaced by random human eyes, both staring into nothing. Her left eye is crying all the way down to her tippy toes, and her right side is dark red. All you can hear is the extremely loud screaming of Chica, and it cuts to Toy Chica, who's unfortunately also been affected by whatever happens in these videos. Except her face is upside down, and her hand is completely cropped off. Her chest is unrecognizable. She's also screaming until she suddenly opens her mouth, and it cuts back to the normal video. So if you're wondering, Bonnie finds Carl in the basement and gives him back to Toy Chica. And they all live happily ever after. Now, this video is actually archived because Zajcu deleted most of his videos, and his oldest currently uploaded milestone was only 50k subs. Was 50k subs. The special starts with the cast seeing that the channel has hit 3,000 subscribers, which nobody can see because the video quality has somehow gotten worse at 240p. But the rest of the video is the cast performing I'm Not Kidding, Hello by OMFG. This is a moment in history. This is a moment to celebrate, guys. Let's fucking go. But while they're all performing, they show off the 2 Bonnies and Foxies and Chicas and even though Freddy has a microphone, both Freddy and Toy Freddy, they're playing on keyboards. Bloodbear is next to Freddy with his guts all over the keyboard. He's screaming so loud that it makes the music go basically mute for a moment afterwards. The video ends with the night guard taking the camera and thanking the viewer if you have subtitles on, but Zajcu Archive probably intentionally didn't put subtitles in. Bad Dream starts with Freddy planning to kill the night guard with Chica, except Chica's distracted by the lovebirds that are Bonnie and Toy Chica. So Freddy goes to kill the night guard with Chica, but Chica's just way too busy just stalking Bonnie and Toy Chica, so they don't get to kill the night guard before it hits 6 a.m. But at 6 a.m., everyone returns to their stage and goes back to sleep. In this video, we get to get a quick deep dive into Freddy's brain and see what he's dreaming about. Bonnie and Chica have gone missing, so he goes hunting for them, but he hears a noise. The noise was apparently nothing, but when he returns to the front of the building, he finds that the pizzeria is now engulfed in flames, as it would be, but Springtrap suddenly appears out of a random doorway and kills Freddy, causing him to wake up and fall off the stage. In the original, he gets back up and goes to poke at Springtrap, who is in the basement where Carl was in a past video. But in this version, he's collapsed on the ground and his torso has basically burst. Freddy's chest is open with his insides visible. He's lost a shit ton of teeth. Both arms are horribly broken, and his entire upper half is bleeding. It cuts to Bonnie and Chica staring down at Freddy's body, and then he suddenly gets up like in the original. The video ends with Freddy poking at Springtrap and letting out a nice sigh of relief because Springtrap didn't wake up. But when Freddy leaves, Springtrap wakes up and text appears saying, Season 1 will continue in Season 3. I don't think that's how seasons work. Now this video is even more interesting because Mr. Archive edited the outro out of the video. The original video was 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and the newest version has lost 20 of those seconds. I kept a recording of my reaction to this video, so thankfully I have the uncut version still. This uncut version contained a QR code in the outro. We'll explore the QR code later, but the plot thickens. Bad Balloon Boy is about Balloon Boy causing a disruption for everyone in the pizzeria. After he annoys the fuck out of Toy Bonnie, he goes to disrupt Chica and Toy Chica. But while they're talking, Bonnie comes from the hallway with a gift with a gift for Toy. Bonnie comes from the hallway with a gift for Toy Chica. When Chica leaves, he asks if anyone is sitting in that spot Toy Chica is sitting across from. Toy Chica responds with, "Oh." The camera lingers on Toy Bonnie for an uncomfortable amount of time, but after it goes back to Toy Chica's shit-eating grin, the video continues being normal. There's not much explanation for why Toy Bonnie did what he did and why everyone ignored it, but it's clearly another anomaly that doesn't affect the rest of the video like every other Blood Bear related moment. This is the least violent scene from this channel so far, with no blood present on screen, but it still probably correlates to Blood Bear in some way like every other strange thing in these videos. The video ends with Freddy giving birth to JJ, who is just as annoying as Balloon Boy, so they all lock away Freddy with Balloon Boy and JJ. New intro was supposedly given to the Archive channel's creator by the community, as seen as a deleted community post where they thank people for giving him the new intro video. The description also thanks you for help for find old video deleted to Zajcu37, but this video is literally just a new intro. The description also contains a Google Drive link. The plot thickens. The Google Drive link is a RAR file called redfreddy. The extracted RAR file becomes a file with a game inside of the same name. Now this was a surprise to most because why did this like small ARG channel suddenly post a whole ass game in their description? Like, not a lot of ARG creators, I'm pretty sure no ARG creators actually have made games for the sake of their ARG. So this piqued the interest of everyone in this small little community of people. The game starts with text telling you to collect 8 keys. You're in complete darkness until you turn your flashlight on and you're in the FNAF 1 office. This game is free roam and the building is huge, with huge fragments of other Five Nights at Freddy's maps and offices jammed into it with long hallways connecting each other. At first it seems like you're alone, but after a short minute, this loud, blood-curdling scream plays for at least a minute, and Blood Bear makes himself known. Blood Bear, like usual, is a red retexture of the famous classic Freddy Fazbear SFM model from early 2015, except his textures are things like mouths and huge patches of visible flesh covering his skin. He's got big, wide, empty eyes, and his jaw is wide open with very crooked gray teeth. The only stance Blood Bear is seen in is an A pose, and he floats towards you, which is arguably much scarier than sprinting towards you. The entire game is a remake of Slendytubbies, and the A pose is just a nice little reference to it too. Slendytubbies released in 2012, around 3 to 4 years before these archive videos from Zajcu were originally uploaded. So the reason for this game being a Slendytubbies clone is probably because it's staying time period accurate. Blood Bear only screams when he's close enough to you, and he stays a very consistent speed the entire game, but he's still fast enough to outrun you if you feel like taking your time, still making him a threat and something to look out for. There's also a range of random photos that flash on screen at random. These photos range from Blood Bear to they're not that annoying, and all they do is play the scream from Slendytubbies, which would probably overlap the screaming from Blood Bear anyways. The 8 keys don't ever change spots, so the game is pretty easy. Beating the game results in all of the lights turning on, and Blood Bear permanently disappearing, similar to the ending of I'm Scared, which does the exact same thing without Blood Bear. After I beat the game, I went exploring the building to go check out any secrets I might have missed. I also learned this while playing, but if you press P, you start peeing permanently and you can't stop it. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, press P to piss. I'm literally peeing right now. Oh my god, I'm so relieved. I'm gonna piss on the fucking electrical tape. There's a huge variety of posters on the walls, and while a few of them are unrecognizable art pieces, the rest are memes with some correlation to Five Nights at Freddy's, besides just a couple. But after exiting the building, we get a cutscene in full screen revealing that we were Bonnie. He takes off his party hat and stares into the forest in front of him and the game closes. And that's the end of the game. However, there's much more. Not much more, actually. In this part of the building that resembles the FNAF 3 office, this exit door has no collision. Walking through it leads to a small room composed of a drawing the community has called Red Freddy Kitty. This image is also the icon of the game, except there's the second half of a YouTube link on the wall. Plugging this link into YouTube opens up
everybody fashion.
This secret ending is a 2-minute video of Blood Bear indubitably hitting that shit. The description reads,
"You forgot pirates' costumes,"
confirming that there probably wasn't an ARG to begin with. I'm assuming this game is the ending of the Zajcu37 Archive story, but it hasn't been confirmed by anybody. Remember that QR code from the Bad Dream video? Scanning it originally led to a NeoCities link created by the official archive channel. Started with a very strange photo of Ryan the Angel Gamer staring deep into the camera with extremely blurry red text next to him. This text has not been decrypted because it's basically impossible to read, and it could also not even be in English, so if anyone can read blurry Arabic, I would love to know what this said. The website changed not even a day later to a very passionate photo of Bonnie and Foxy, which is actually a very blurry, high quality frame from New Night Guard 2. Which I didn't cover earlier because Bloodbear probably isn't in it, unless Bloodbear made Bonnie feel Foxy like that. I think they probably did it on their own time though. There's a poster of Ryan the Angel Gamer on the wall with text saying custodian. The file name is I don't play along, insect. Shit, my bad. There's a black border around the image with hidden text saying,
You won't hesitate, I will not ask second time 6107.
6107 refers to, assuming it refers to nothing else, refers to Psalms 107:6.
Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress.
This quote is about crying to God for help when someone's at their lowest or at their weakest point, possibly even ready to die. This could connect to the frequent agonizing screams from Bloodbear and other characters, as they all look very visibly in pain in their segments, and they could literally be crying out and screaming to God. And his delivery is where the screams end, making Bloodbear some type of demon or tortured spirit that has found their host in these videos trying to communicate with God. But after a day or so, the website has updated to have no text until the end of January, where the website was replaced with a photo of lore-accurate Ryan the Angel Gamer. The website name is You Are an Idiot, referencing the Trojan virus of the same name that blew up from around 2009 to 2012. On the website's last day before permanently closing down, the photo of Ryan the Angel Gamer was replaced with a cropped GIF of Toy Chica from the Lost Cupcake video. The GIF is named Play Along. According to the Internet Archive, the website was updated 3 other times after it shut down, but there's no changes present in any of those 3 versions. Based on the amount of Ryan the Angel Gamer photos, this website is mainly about Ryan or from Ryan, with the file names of GIFs and images being him communicating, with the photo of Bonnie and Foxy being named I don't play along, comma, insect. Who might he be calling insect? Like I said earlier, this photo of Ryan gets replaced by a fragment of Toy Chica during a Bloodbear segment, and the file's name is Play Along. So this website is probably showing off the conflict between Ryan the Angel Gamer and Bloodbear. Ryan calls Bloodbear an insect, like he's some sort of lower being that he has to look down upon. This website also says Zajcu fan instead of Zajcu fan. Typing the correct version leads to a completely new website set up by the Zajcu37 Archive community. This website is dedicated to documenting everything that Zajcu37 Archive has posted, like their deleted community posts that show behind the scenes of videos and other photos of Bloodbear and such. Many of these are alternative, unused, like work in progress versions of the Bloodbear segments and videos, like this version of Chica from what I can only assume is the 3K special, this version of Bloodbear and Assistant, and this version of Freddy in Return. They've all been deleted, and they were probably posted before all of their designated videos came out, and deleted moments before their videos actually released. There's also this photo of Bonnie, but I have no clue where this photo could have possibly come from. There's not really much of an ARG to put the story together, and more like these little interesting details. There's also not really much of an actual explanation for any of this story, so most things are up to interpretation, but I'm gonna try to put together the details and make a story from those, because there are more than enough elements in this channel to make a story, and I'd be surprised if Zajcu37 fan, or Zajcu37 Archive, didn't think of a story while making these videos. Starting off, who is Bloodbear? He's very obviously the main antagonist of these videos, mainly because he's the only source of actual like any horror related activity on this channel. Like I said earlier, Bloodbear is probably some demented spirit trying to communicate with God through his constant screams of agony, like his screaming in the game and in the videos he's seen in. The segments where other characters are also screaming could be from Bloodbear possessing them, and then some god or some divine spirit finally removes Bloodbear from the video. Bloodbear just screams until this divine spirit comes to care for him, which is why Bloodbear is always on screen for an uncomfortably long duration of time. Bloodbear is seen successfully corrupting a video when characters go through some sort of violence without any screaming, like Freddy in Bomb Surprise or Bad Dream. Freddy shows off that these characters have some sentience because we're playing as Bonnie Bonnie and were escaping Bloodbear. But since Red Freddy is a game where Bonnie could roam anywhere, he has more control over himself and can prevent getting possessed or caught by Bloodbear. These videos have a certain story to follow, with characters being constrained by their own animations, which is why we see them getting possessed by Bloodbear because they can't run away. In videos like New Night Guard 2 and Bad Balloon Boy, we see these characters doing their own thing, which is why their movements are much smoother compared to the shitty keyframing of 2015 Zajcu37. Bonnie and Foxy decided to fandangle, but they got caught by Freddy because they weren't in parts and services at the right time like the original video. And Toy Bonnie decided to take his life, probably to avoid being possessed by Bloodbear or being constrained to keyframes again. But if there's some holy spirit preventing Bloodbear from possessing these characters, who could it be? It can't be an animated character because they're all bound to their animations. So the only holy spirit would possibly be Ryan the Angel Gamer. And he does have Angel in his name and Gamer. He could be like a fallen angel or something. Ryan doesn't really follow with the flow of the other characters, making him a much more interesting character since he's been introduced. He just appears and reacts to random shit, and most of it is incredibly useless and unnecessary to react to. He's also seen super frequently in everything outside of just the channel. The website is mostly made up of photos of Ryan, his arcade machines are in the game, and his own channel and DeviantArt. Like I said earlier, the file of Bonnie and Foxy is called I Don't Play Along Insect, and the gif of Possessed Toy Chica is called Play Along. Even if Ryan isn't an animated character, he still has a role in these videos, and he refuses to abide by all of them. He even insults... Wait, shit. Sorry, I scrolled. He even insults Bloodbear, calling him an insect, like he's inferior or powerless. Ryan's only been in one video just to avoid increasing the risk of encountering Bloodbear anymore. Bloodbear only has power in these videos, so all Ryan needs to do is just avoid these videos to stay safe. So Bloodbear possesses the characters in these videos, and Ryan, the divine spirit, banishes him temporarily. And these characters are sentient and bound to their animations, and they secretly live in misery on their own off camera. And the best way to avoid getting possessed by Bloodbear is to literally just stay away from these videos. But the characters are still getting tormented by Bloodbear anyways. So how does the story end? How do we rid this channel and the characters in it of Bloodbear? The answer is seen in Red Freddy when we're playing as one of the free spirits, Bonnie, whose objective is to get out of his recording facility with 8 keys in a time period accurate fashion. This game takes place outside of recordings, which explains why the lights are off. You're stuck in with Bloodbear because he knows you're trying to escape the chains of the channel, except like Ryan said, he's inferior and easy to avoid, so we escape successfully and live in harmony with our gay lover, Foxy, now freed from Bloodbear's captivity. There's no explanation of how Foxy and only Foxy also got out, so maybe he just snuck out before Bloodbear spawned in, or we had him on our back the entire time. Actually, wait, never mind. Editor's note, this was my original theory, but based on many others. The most accurate theory was that this channel was meant to reflect on nostalgic horror slop and people using nostalgic content as a quick and easy way to make cheap horror content that'll farm views. This theory is based around this frame from the 3K special, mostly. In this frame, red text appears, and even though it's incredibly hard to read, many have decrypted some words and made their theories off of those words. The first couple lines just say repeat stuff, referencing the common trope that popular ARG or horror accounts of just repeating text or other scary horror tropes and concepts like sudden jump scares and really loud screaming, which the Zajcu Archive also does. Text even says ARG nostalgia, analog horror. This for a quick buck, even further supporting the theory that this channel is reflecting on current day analog horror. This theory also thinks Bloodbear is the only person speaking on the website, telling us to play along while he doesn't. He calls the community insects and maggots as they feed into this nostalgia horror slop, playing along and proving how cheap nostalgic horror is. The whole channel is just a reflection on current horror and how many rely on nostalgia to grab people's attention. But it also doesn't really take itself too seriously, because why would it? I'm gonna say this again in a moment, but there are many questions left intentionally unanswered, and I can go on and on and on about all of these different theories, but I just wanted to stick to my original thought and the most common and probably accurate theory. Actually, there's not really an explanation for anything, because if you couldn't already tell, this entire fan account is a shitpost and the community surrounding it barely even takes it seriously either. There are many unanswered questions, like why was Spring Bonnie in one video? Who is Zajcu37 fan? Who is Ryan the Angel Gamer? We'll probably never know because they weren't really meant to be answered. They're just meant to spark up speculation. Before Zajcu37 Archive changed their homepage, it was easier to tell that they weren't much of a serious channel just from the banner alone. But you can still obviously tell how unserious this channel is based on other things like the website, the game. Basically everything this channel has created has some like unserious undertone. It doesn't... He doesn't know where it is. Basically, anything that this channel has created has some unserious undertone in it. I appreciate Zajcu37 Archive because of how much effort was actually put into this joke channel. It honestly does have a lot of potential as an actual horror channel, but I think the lack of seriousness is just part of the charm. But it is just fun to speculate and compose a story from all these little details. Like this random kid named Ryan with a DeviantArt account being an archangel that combats and rebels against a demonic being that takes the form of Freddy Fazbear sounds really ridiculous, and I'm very glad that it's supposed to sound that way. There's also a Discord server. This server is also where I find some of the information that I've gotten from the Zajcu37 Archive channel. If you want more of the Archive channel, I recommend checking out the Discord. I'll put all my sources in the description so you can check them out from there. I'd like to thank you if you've made it this far. Before I take my leave and store my food for the winter and hibernate for the next couple months, I would like to thank you all for waiting for each upload. I really appreciate your patience. But I do apologize for my inconsistent uploads. I've actually been busy learning how to animate in Source Filmmaker and how to produce in FL Studio, and I haven't really been working on videos much besides this one and another one that'll take much longer to come out. I'll post all of my non-video essay projects on the new channel very soon, so you guys can see what I'm doing if I'm not working on videos, in case you just want any more content from me. But until I post that, like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and click all so you'll never miss out on another upload, even if they are once every blue moon. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great night, everyone.